Come have a seat in the Skald circle, and hear the tale of the cat's judgment, as told by Casimir. Before we begin our tale, did you know that we release new stories for free every week on Wednesdays? Be certain to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Spotify, Podbean, or whatever your favourite podcast app is. That way, you'll never miss out when we release free bonus stories other days of the week. Never forget, visit thescaldcircle.com to stay up to date with all our current happenings, and to also visit our story archive, sorted by origin and region. Now then, this begins the tale of the cat's judgment. My father was a herdsman to the manor house, and one of his jobs was to boil up a good pot of mangold and turnips every evening for the castle. He was a particular type of man, and so the root should brew thoroughly. He not only put the iron lid on the pot, but also put a stone on top of the lid to keep it firm. But night after night, to his surprise, in the morning the stone was knocked off the pot and the lid was lifted. One night he said to himself, "I'll watch," he said. And he sat up watching the pot, and the lamp had gone down and the room was dark only for the firelight. And what did he see but a big cat come in and push the stone and lift the lid off the pot, and dip his paw into the mash just as if it was cream. No sooner did he see the cat than he hit it with a welt of a stick, and as it leaps through the door, he puts his 2 dogs after it. But the dogs were back in no time, and they were shivering as if with fright. So he shuts the door and he goes to bed. Well, he is hardly under the sheets when the door opens, and in comes the cat that he was after hitting. And following her, in come a dozen others, one after the other. And they all sat down in a circle, and they began to talk in the cat language. And my father in the bed was frightened out of his life to say a word, for fear the cats would go after him. And they all sat there mumbling and talking to each other, when in comes the king of the cats. A great big tomcat he was. He walks right in and sits down in the middle of them all. Then the cat that's been at the mash limps up to him, for he was lame with the welt he was after getting. And you'd think he was a lawyer in court the way he spoke to the king and the others. And me father was near dead with the fright. And the king of the cats considered for a long while, as if he was thinking over the evidence, and then he rose up and tapping the one that got the welt as much to say, "Not guilty, come on." And he went out the door, and they all followed him. And when they'd all gone out, the door closed after them. And that's the tale of the cat's judgment. Thank you for listening to our story. If you enjoyed it, please take a look at our Patreon page to learn how you can earn great rewards while also supporting us. We appreciate even the smallest of contributions, as they allow us to continue to release new stories every week for free on Wednesdays, and also provide bonus stories for your listening pleasure. Visit us at thescaldcircle.com to view our story archive, sorted by origin and region, and to stay up to date with all our current developments. Once again, thank you for listening to our story.